Hi guys, welcome. Hey, this is Kim, and I am taking over Maker Studio today to do a really cute project with a brand new product that I'm so excited to talk about. But first of all, like I said, my name is Kim. I blog over at SalvagedLiving, where I do easy DIY and home decor for Life and Home Redeemed. Lots of fun, easy, budget-friendly projects. So I would be just thrilled if you wanted to join me on any of my social media channels, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or the blog. That would be great. But I'm really happy to be sharing this new product with you today from Maker Studio. I don't know if you've had a chance to work with it yet, but you guys, we're going to talk about resin today. So when you hop on, please say hi to me. Tell me if you've worked with this resin yet, if you've made any of the projects, and kind of what you think about it. I want to hear all your questions. We'll make sure and answer all the questions in the comments. But I want to talk about the kit that I'm going to be working with today. So you guys tell me, like I said, when you hop on, where you're watching from. I never want to craft alone, so be sure and say hi. This kit that I'm working with in particular today is a jewelry kit, and it actually comes with so many fun little parts and pieces that you can make all kinds of different jewelry. Earrings, you can make pendants and necklaces and bracelet, little pendant things. I mean, there's just so many cool things that you can create. You also get the resin, and there's all these different glitters that you can mix in with your resin mix to make it sparkly and fun, or you can use these gorgeous pigments to dye the resin if you don't want to just leave it clear. The only thing that's going to hold you back is your imagination, you guys. There's all the little things to make the jewelry with, keychains, stuff like that. It's super cool. You're going to get the things you need. Oh my goodness, my cat. Sorry, you guys. Anyway, the cat needs to get down. Bye, bye, boo. Come on, get down. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, all the parts and pieces are going to be in this kit. There's fun gold foils that you can get to mix in with your resin. I'm going to tell you how to do the resin, how to mix it, how to make it, and we're just going to have fun today. I want to go ahead and get digging into this project because it's exciting. So I'm going to flip the camera where you can see exactly what I'm doing. And like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We would love to answer them for you. So here we go. Let's get started. Okay, you guys. So now what we're going to do is talk about mixing our resin. And there's two things you need to start off knowing is you need to use your gloves. There's going to be gloves included with your resin. Let me take off this ring because you don't want to get the resin on your hand. It might irritate you. I don't know that it would for sure, but just in case. And you're also going to want to wear a mask. Good thing for COVID, we all have masks now. So just to be safe, okay? You also get these measuring cups, and they are the flexible cups, so the resin doesn't stick to the cups. And it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So anytime, no matter how much you want to mix of A and B, you're going to use a 1-to-1 ratio. So what I typically do when I've been playing around with this is there are little measuring, things on the cup. So I decide how much I think I'm going to need, and I fill up the first one. Sorry, I'm trying to eyeball this and show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna pour it in here. This first one is real thick. It's like syrupy, kind of. So there's that one. Okay. And then you can measure the second one in and pour it in if you want to. If you're comfortable, you can just do this. This is what I do. I just measure an equal amount on top of that. I don't know that there's a right or a wrong on this, but that's how I do it. So I'm just making sure that I get a half and half situation going on. And then you're going to want to stir for 3 minutes. So this is the hardest part, is the waiting. And while I'm talking to you guys about this, I want to show you that I already have a little bit mixed up over here. Okay, so like I said, you're going to want to stir this solid for 3 minutes, like set a timer. And that just has to do with the fact that you need to make sure it's really mixed well for the resin to harden correctly. I don't know all the technical parts, but I just trust them. And when they tell me to mix this for 3 minutes, I'm going to do it because I want my stuff to turn out right. And I know that when you do it right, it turns out right. So there we go. So I've mixed this for 3 minutes. I had one that was already mixed. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to make a bracelet, okay? So this is a bracelet mold. It's actually a smaller bracelet. I'm going to be honest, it's more for like a little girl or something. And I have the cutest little girl neighbors that I want to give this to. So we're going to make it kind of fun, some really fun little girly colors. And I'm going to show you one in a minute that I made that's a little more kind of grown up, but still fun. So what I'm going to do is if you're going to have different colors, it's a little bit like, I feel like it's like baking a cake or something where you're going to have different kind of frostings. I'm going to pour half of this about into this cup to go ahead and make a couple different colors. So I'm going to do 1/2 of it clear with glitter and 1/2 of it white with glitter. So what I want to show you is this is a pigment that is just so gorgeous. These pigments are very strong. They turn out really beautiful. You are going to want to do, I think the ratio is make sure you don't have more than 6% of anything that you mix into your acrylic mix. Like you don't want more than 6% of your mixture to be made up from the color or the glitter. So we're just going to put a little bit in there and I'm going to dump it in. And then I want to we're going to do a little bit of pink, some light pink. And do the same thing, just a little bit. And mix that up. So for the way that I'm going to do this bracelet, you're going to want to make sure you have your colors mixed up first before you start pouring them into the mold. And let me just show you. This is going to just be so sweet, a little soft, like you can kind of see. It's going to take on a little bit of that white color, a lot of the glitter, and everything. It's kind of just like a fun experiment because once the acrylics dry, they tend to dry a little bit different. So it's really fun to play with. You're going to see over time, the more that you work with these acrylics, this resin stuff, you're going to figure out how the things blend and how they mix together and just kind of their habits. It's just a really fun kind of free-form little deal. So I'm going to put a little bit of that purple glitter in this one, and I'm going to leave this one the acrylic, the clear acrylic. Okay, so we're just going to get that mixed up, and it's going to just be a sparkly, fun little girls thing. This would be so great if you had kids or grandkids. You could make a ton of these for Christmas gifts in their favorite color. You could make them whole sets of jewelry, matching earrings and pendants and stuff. I mean, of course, all of this set is good for big girl jewelry, but it would be a really fun way to create and have a craft day, I think, with, you know, your little ones, grandkids or otherwise. So I don't know if you can see as we look in here, one's a little more white, one's clear, but we both have glitter. So what I'm going to do is just start filling this with this mold with these two. And I'm going to do like a half and half situation, okay? Pouring it in. Now this acrylic resin is self-leveling, which means that if you let it sit, it's going to get flat. So on that note, you need to pour your two halves sort of quickly because that first half that I just poured is going to come around to meet this half pretty quick because it wants to be level, it wants to be flat. So I want to get them where they're going to fill up at the same time so they can meet and the bracelet's kind of half and half. Now I can go back and top off the rest of the resin, if that makes sense. And you just want to keep filling it until you get this filled to the top. Okay, that's the trick, is you really do want to make sure you fill it all the way so that you have a nice flat top surface on this bracelet. You have a working time of about 20 minutes once you mix your resin to get it finished and completed into the mold. I'm kind of a messy person, you guys, so just forgive me. But the thing about it is it's not going to matter because everything that's on the outside will just pop off when it dries. It's no big deal. So I'm just going to keep pouring this in here until I get a really solid surface that's even with the top. And I love this look. It's going to be so much fun. And you can kind of tap it down a little bit. Make sure you're getting it all the way in there. There's also these little plunger kind of things that you can do to fill that last little gap in if you want to. It's a good way to just squirt some right in the top. And right now while it's wet, the color variation doesn't look that different, but it will. That white really does look different whenever you are mixing them, and once it dries, the white resin will come off a little different. It's kind of cool. So that's it. We're just going to make sure we're getting it filled to the top. Gonna just kind of bump it and get some air bubbles out of it. Another thing that with resin you can do is if you use a heat gun on it, it pops the bubbles on the surface. So I'm going to try that real quick. So that helped me just tap it down a little bit, and I can look down in there and see that I have a nice flush surface with my mold. So this is done, and basically what you're going to do is leave it to dry about 10 hours. I just leave it overnight. I think that that's the best idea, is to just set it aside, let it, leave it overnight. You want to work on the silicone mat that you're going to get because the resin won't stick to it and you can wash it and clean it. And then for cleanup of these, if you actually have extra resin that you don't use in something, you can leave it in these cups and then it'll dry overnight as well, and you can just pop that little extra out and throw it away. But this is what this mold turns out to look like, you guys. I did a half black and half white bracelet. It's so cute. It has this like diamondy texture on the outside. I love how they blended right here on where they met in the middle, and you get this little clash of colors. Is that the sweetest thing? I mean, like, y'all, I made that. It's so cool to me. Look at that, like, shape on it. It's so fun. You really can have so much fun working with these. Okay guys, surprise, here I've shown you this black and white one that I made, this bracelet, but I want to go ahead and show you this. These things pop right on out of these little molds, and that is the most fun part because it's kind of like Christmas morning. You get to see how your piece turned out. This is so sweet. Look, we've got glittery, we've got like light pinks and whites. It's super fun. So these would be so great for little girls, like I told you, and have a little bracelet making party or something. I don't know. Anyway, y'all have fun with this. Just get creative, use the glitters, use the pigments, all the stuff, and make you some fun things. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys.